15 Studios. The Reconnaissance Report.
I've been bringing you guys guides as well as tips and tricks for all of the bosses in the raid, and today is going to be no different because we are going to be doing a full guide on the Titan Beta, also known as the super quantum computer. Between this fight as well as the Titan Zeta, which is the final boss, those are the ones that a lot of people seem to be having a lot of problems with. So I'm going to be doing my absolute best to go as in-depth as I can and make it as simple as possible for those of you that don't have friends to jump in and are just depending on the matchmaking system. So with all of that being said, let's waste no more time and get right into the video. Now, to start things off, the moment that you come inside of the raid, the very first thing that you're going to see right in front of you is some sort of platform with a Wi-Fi symbol on the front of it. These are going to play an important role in the entire fight because one person is going to be in charge to be inside of a room with a map and is going to have to call out which one of these have to be deactivated. In total, spread out throughout the entire map, there are 9 of these platforms, that being 3 upstairs and 6 on the first floor. Now, as you've been watching the gameplay in the background, as soon as we spawned in, what I did was jump over the railing, run all the way down, bust the first left that I could make, and right in front of me is going to be the map room. Like I said before, one person is going to be in charge of being in this room the vast majority of the fight. It's also very smart to put the person that is in this room in charge of taking out the drones while the rest of your squad mates are focusing on just taking out the quantum computers. Now, the moment that you enter this room and jump through the window room, because it's going to be turned off. Now, this is the part that a lot of people get confused in because it's really hard to understand the orientation of the map. So I've gone ahead and grabbed the image and set it up in the specific way that me and my squad did this, and I figured I would share it with you guys, so if you want to use it, this is also a viable way of doing it. So as you can see on the screen right now, I'm going to be showing you the first floor map. Now, the way that we decided to do this was assigning 3 buttons to each of the squad mates on the team, not counting myself obviously because I was going to spend the time inside of the map room calling out the locations. So we had one individual in the center, so the way that we did it was sometimes I would say center, sometimes I would say center top or center back. Once you know the orientation of the map and everybody else in your squad knows it, it's really easy for them to understand when you make those kind of callouts. Now, at the very top of the map, you'll notice that this is the only area in the entire map that has water. For that reason, we made it extremely simple and we simply called it waterway. So the way that we called it out was waterway left, waterway middle, and waterway right. Now, I've gone ahead and taken the liberty of marking where the locations of each one of the bosses are, which there is a total of 3 in the entire map, and I've also went ahead and mark the map room. Now, the next one that I'll be showing you on the screen is the second floor. Here I've only marked 2 spots because obviously there is only 3 of them on the second floor, and that is going to be assigned to another person to take care of. Now, as you can see on the map, the orange dot is exactly where you're going to spawn. So the way that we did it on the second floor is that I would say second floor spawn, they knew that it was the one right in front of the spawn, and then I would say second floor left or second floor right. My honest suggestion is if you're doing this with matchmaking and you have a person that doesn't have a mic, throw them up on the second floor because it's the easiest one to do. This is going to be the hardest part of the entire fight, trying to get your entire squad to understand where the locations are. The moment that you guys master where the locations are and everybody knows where they need to be going, this is going to become a lot easier. So now that you guys understand the map and you've entered the room, the fight has begun. Once you are in here, you're going to want to look at the map and 2 locations are going to light up in red. Go ahead and make your first floor callouts and then instantly turn around, and right behind you there's going to be 2 back rooms. The left one is going to lead you upstairs to the fan that you're going to need to do at a later point in this video, and the right one is going to lead you inside of the room with the map to the second floor. If you angle yourself correctly in front of the first floor map, you should be able to see clearly into the room with the second floor map, and you won't actually have to go in there to make it a lot easier when you run upstairs. Now, your goal as the person standing inside of the map room is to keep looking at those maps until every single red dot turns green. The moment that they turn green, you instantly run upstairs, and there is going to be 3 different nodes upstairs. The far left one will be an O2 button. This is one that you only have to touch in an absolute emergency. This will instantly take away all of the poison in the room for a short period of time. But really, the only reason that you should need to hit this button is if maybe a player goes down, or if you guys have spent too much time attacking the boss and the entire room has been poisoned for a while and you need everybody to get back to their locations. In other words, it only needs to be touched in an absolute emergency. Now, the middle button is going to be the fan. This is the one that you're going to be touching every single time that the dots turn green on both of the maps. This will instantly suck out all of the poison within the room, as well as make your bar on the top start going down progressively. And finally, the far right button is the drone stun. This is the one that you're going to hit only if the drones really get out of hand, maybe too many of them are inside, but it definitely isn't a button that's required for you to hit. Now, keep in mind that everything that I'm talking about is strictly only for the person that is in charge of the map room. The other 3 squad mates within the fight at this point should be taking care of their 3 designated platforms, while the person in the map room is taking care of all of this stuff on his own. Now, the moment that the player within the map room says that he has turned on the fans, or the moment that you guys hear the fans turn on, make sure that you start making your way over to the bosses. Taking a look back at the first floor map that I gave you guys at the start of the video, you'll notice that I marked all 3 of the boss locations, starting with the far right one. That should be your first one. Obviously, the middle one will be your second, and then the far left one will be your third. The reason for this is because you're closest to the map room, giving the player that's in charge of the map room a very short period of time in order to run in there and start making the call outs instantly. Now, while all of that sounds pretty simple, it's extremely important that you guys make sure not to do that whole rinse and repeat cycle more than 2 times. During the first run, once all of the buttons have been turned off, all the lights are off, fog is out of the room to the bosses. Now, once you guys make it to the third and final one that is next to the map room, you'll notice that midway through you doing damage, the poison is going to turn on. This is the reason why you need to be so close to the map room, so that way you guys can pick up right where you left off and get it done. Another thing that I want to point out that is extremely important: do not kill the bosses completely within the first run. Doing this will then enrage the boss and make your way over to do the damage for the final time, hopefully. You need to make sure that when you're doing damage to the boss, you take down the first health bar, and there's going to be a second health bar that comes up. This second health bar is honestly not as hard as the first one. You maybe have to put like 10 shots into it, but the problem is that if you guys stop shooting, you won't do enough damage and it will close, and you're gonna have to do it a 3rd time. This did happen to us, unfortunately, a couple times because we got a little ahead of ourselves and we all turned around. So just make sure that you guys continue shooting until you see the computer blow up. Assuming you do this for all 3, you should have now taken down the Skell Quantum Computer, also known as Titan Beta. That means that you have now taken down 3 of the bosses based on the guides that I've done so far, and you are now ready for Titan Zeta, which is the final boss of the raid. Like I said before, this is a tricky one to do, especially if you don't have any friends to do it with, because it requires a lot of communication. At least 1 person with communication is pretty much required for this. But anyways, I hope that this did help you guys out. If it did, make sure to drop a like on the video. I would really appreciate it. It helps my content get out there. And obviously, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel and turn on those notifications so you guys don't miss my next guide, which will be for the Titan Zeta, also known as Cerberus. So be expecting that either tomorrow or the day after. And really quickly, before I forget again, I want to announce the winner for my contest. I think it was last week over on my Discord. I believe the theme for the screenshot was basically any game that you wanted. So I went ahead and chose Lopez as the winner. I'm going to show his screenshot in the background right now. In the description, I'm also going to have a link to his Instagram page. It's called Animals of War. So make sure that you guys go and check that out. And also join the Discord if you want to take part in these contests that we have, where basically you share screenshots with my entire community over on Discord. And every single week we have different themes. We've had combat, we've had basically a free one, and just a couple of other ones. We really haven't had the contest for too long. But aside from that, we also have people constantly looking for groups for the raid over on the Discord. So feel free to join. We have over 540 members. But that's pretty much going to do it for today's video. Like always, I will see you guys.